Should we do better things?
You know what? I realised, because I saw this episode a while back, and I rewatched it this morning.
You did it at US pace.
Yes, I did, and I will always with this show. And I realised it's not a show I laugh at out loud, but it's a show I smile at. I could feel myself smiling at it, watching it. And so this is Pamela Adlon's semi-autobiographical comedy about a mother who's an actress in the US. She does basic actress work. She was a star in her teens, and she does voiceovers for cartoons, and it's about her raising her 3 teenage daughters in LA and all the upheaval of that. And then she's got a mother who lives next door, played excellently by Celia Imrie. I always forget that. Every time she pops up, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, of course, Celia Imrie's in this. This first episode saw Sam take eldest daughter Max to Chicago, where she's going to be studying for college. It's about her leaving home for the first time and what that's like and going to college. She wants like this big "this is us" moment of saying goodbye that she kind of gets, and it's a show not about a lot of things, but it's really sweet and genuine. There's a great sequence on the aircraft on the way back that I loved. It's just one of my favourite shows.
I love the way it's sort of very, almost like dreamlike, some of the cinematography, and there's not a lot of exposition in it. You know, you're just plunged into these scenes. It's not like, oh, I've got to go to college tomorrow, and then we're watching them on the way to, you know. We should say all 3 seasons are on the iPlayer still, so if you've not seen a single second of this, you can watch all 3 seasons.
God, I love it.
I've watched 4 so far. This sort of, I suppose, through storyline this time is that Sam is filming a monster zombie blockbuster with one of your old teachers, Doug Jones.
Doug Jones. Yeah, Mr. Jones.
And Chris Marshall, oddly.
Yes, oddly, yeah. It's weird how just random British actors turn up in better things.
Like Lucy Davis is in it as well, isn't she? And I just like the different, you know, she's got this sort of network of different friends who will pop up from time to time. It's sort of almost like a bourgeois type world.
But it never feels one that you can't get into. It's not exclusive.
Yeah, I think that's down to the dialogue with Pamela Adlon writes most of this. She's directed most of it as well. It's very personal to her, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's some great stuff with Frankie later on. When you get there, we'll have to discuss it because that's really good. We know that Series 4 is coming in March in the US, and I'm already chomping at the bit to see it. It's just lovely.
I suppose the big thing with this was it was originally created by Louis C.K., wasn't it? And
now it's her baby completely.
Yeah.
And there is a bit of a shift. You do feel like things, like she's got a handle in them. Like the stuff with her dad, that is a lot of the
I find that a bit strange, if I'm honest, seeing
it is strange.
Her dad from time to time. I like when she's sort of a bit sort of hyperactive mum. There's the stuff with Duke's the youngest child, isn't she?
Yeah.
With the thing at her school and doing all the different experiments and getting
that episode.
Increasingly annoyed with the other parents and things like that. And bits where she's sort of snapping at Chris Marshall for things as well. And it's really, I really like. It's one of those that I can put on and chill out to, unlike the last 2 shows we've just discussed. I mean, the episodes are about 20-25 minutes each.
Yeah.
So it's not a big time commitment.
I just smile throughout it. It just makes me happy, and very few
And
shows
it's not like they shy away from like the issues, like for example the Celia Imrie character is losing her grip more and more, on reality. There's quite a harsh conversation that Sam's brother, played by Kevin Pollak, has with her. It's just a really enjoyable show. I would recommend if you want something just to relax to. And I think BBC too have done really well in terms of acquiring these shows. But as you keep saying, there's not a great deal of promotion. I've noticed now.
Never seen that at all.
I've noticed now that they are plugging Pose a lot more when you turn on the iPlayer. The advert before your show is, for me, definitely is almost Pose, but I don't know if that's tailored towards me because I've watched Pose on the iPlayer.
Well, they wouldn't think they'd advertise something to you you'd already seen. So
well, you don't know, do you? But Pose is the one that they seem to be sort of getting behind. But things like this, I mean, as you mentioned, obviously, this is sort of a year behind almost when it aired last spring, I think, in the States.
Yeah, sort of March time.
Yeah, but no, really get
Love
involved.
it. Absolutely
involved.
love it. Better things, or if you want to record it and watch it weekly, it's your decision. Tuesdays at 10 is where
Yeah,
you
get
will
that
find it.
VHS in. Make sure it's a long
Yeah.
play though.
Make sure you record it on long play, yeah.
240. Get the
Okay.
get the whole series on the one take.
Yeah, and don't have to cut out the adverts or anything, that's good. I did that for so many years, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.